So we're talking about like the top 3 games that we could play during these times, like at home with the family,
Awesome.
especially. And we'll be going back and forth about how these particular games at home spark our interest and why. Um,
Okay.
so, so yeah, I mean, I can lead off. Are you cool with that?
Do it. Do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I grew up like kind of having more of a competitive nature, particularly with like at home games, and I think it's because of my mom. My mom's like super competitive, and I'd say the first game that I really liked and that she taught me was a speed card game. Playing cards. Have you
Yes.
played that? Have you played that before?
In fact, so Boys and Girls Club of the Rogue Valley Club members, we have on our YouTube and Home Enrichment channel, my son and I actually did a demonstration on
Yeah,
how to play speed. So
that's
if
cool.
you guys want to go check it out, we show exactly how to play the game. That is
Your turn.
one
Sure,
of my
yeah, I'll go back and
favorites.
forth.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I would say one of the games that I really love to play with my family is also a card game. It is called Hand and Foot.
Oh,
And it is a very detailed game. It's very meticulous. There are a whole bunch of rules, and the rules change from family to family.
okay.
I can play with my parents, and we have our set of rules. I can play with my aunts and uncles. They have a different set of rules. But it is
All
a game
right.
that we have been playing now for a very long time. And that game is it's kind of a competitive game, but it's more just about getting around the table, getting your snacks, and
Mm-hmm.
it takes several hours to play. Sometimes we play it all in one setting. Sometimes we break it up into 4 or 5 days depending on what's going on. But
Interesting.
that's pretty fun. You get like 6 decks of cards, and you just
Okay.
make a big mess on your table, and you draw. So I'm sure there are
So what are the
instructions
aspects of it?
laying around. You work in teams, in
Okay.
pairs, and you have to get so many piles with the same numbers, and you have to get them faster than other people. And if you have threes, you have to close that pile before you go out, or else you lose a whole bunch of points.
Okay.
It's fun. It can get really chaotic, and it's super fast paced, especially when you play it with my family. We like fly
No, that
around the
sounds cool.
table.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Um, so then my second one would definitely be Monopoly. Another one that I
Oh,
really get. I know that people either love it or hate
oh yeah. I'm not a Monopoly lover, but that's all right. We can still be friends.
it. Okay, sweet. Because I'm telling you, I just think it's just an interesting game to like, I don't know, to understand and when to be lenient and stuff like that, which growing up my uncles when I played with, he was like total stickler about letting people off easy and stuff, and I think that I adopted that. So that's another one where I'm just like, it's so hard for me. I have a young daughter, she's 12, so like I try not to be too like hard, but really, it's a game. So you just like, man,
Yeah,
just want to,
yeah.
me
So
personally, I'm
what
just
do
like, I just want
you?
to
I do.
win.
Yeah. So when I'm going to ask you this, so when you were playing with your daughter, and you're like, nope, I'm playing the game, and I'm in it to win it.
Hmm.
Um, how does she respond to that competitiveness in you? Is she competitive as well? Or is it like you
So,
play the game, and then you shake hands, like we do at the club, good game, and
mhm.
go off? Yeah.
So
Because
that's
I'm
a good question. I think that her nature is a little more soft-hearted compared to mine when it comes to really anything that involves competition. But at the same time, when it comes to somebody really challenging her, she'll really go for it. But this game in particular, just tinging off of Monopoly, I tend to be more of a father. I try to teach her rather than like, you know, really trying to be competitive with her. So like I'll explain it. I'll explain why. Like when she'll try to do an easy deal or something, and want to like make it so that I hardly give her anything for something like a property or something. I'll explain to her, different tactics and the way to be thinking when
Yeah.
it comes to things like this, so that she kind of thinks better on her feet. And I won't let myself obviously do certain things. I get pretty soft when it comes to her, but while trying to teach her too. But if I teach
Awesome.
her that and she like kind of either doesn't take the advice or something, then I might just kind of let her learn a little bit there, and then
Yeah.
but she's not incredibly competitive. She's usually pretty cool about everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's mostly
Yeah,
low key.
that's good. That's the thing about competition, is you can use it to definitely better yourself. But you
100%.
gotta, yeah, I feel like you gotta stay in that good natured place. So while you're doing it, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's a segue into the real world, in my
yeah,
opinion, especially when it comes to certain topics. I mean, games are games, but when it comes to like, getting that job or becoming good at something so that you can get somewhere in life, man,
yes,
like
yeah,
that's the
pushing
stuff
yourself,
where you can't hold
definitely,
back on stuff like that. So
yeah,
relating it in any way that I can there is pretty, it's kind of my tactics and the way that I like to do things.
yeah, awesome,
But
cool,
anyway,
good.
you got number 2 up?
I do. I think I know I have my number one for sure.
Okay.
Number two would probably be I like just like around the table board games, fast
Okay.
board games, not like Monopoly. I can't spend
Mhm.
hours. The only game, in fact, that I can spend hours playing around the table is Hand and Foot, and I think it's because there's so much
Yeah.
other stuff going on. So things like Payday
Mhm.
and Life, and we actually have a Pirates of the Caribbean life game where it has like pirate ships and you're like the characters of the movie, and that one's
Mhm.
pretty fun.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, so those ones are fun because to me they're quick. You can have the conversations about things. You know, you can still be a little competitive, but again, for me, it's about having fun with people around the table until I get to my number one game, and that's where I get competitive. But
Okay.
it's just one,
Cool.
so we'll go there. We'll get there.
No, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So then my final one is probably my favorite for like really kind of relaxing and hanging out, having some snacks maybe with the family, and you can have a lot of people play. Have you ever played the card game Rummy?
No, but I'm wondering if it's very similar to my
It's
number one because of the
well,
names.
okay. Yeah, I kind of
Yeah, I bet it
yeah,
is. I bet
but
it
we'll
is.
see. We'll see
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's different names for it. But
Yeah.
this is mm, it's sort of like Phase 10. You ever play Phase 10?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where you're trying to get these certain cards or whatever
Uh-huh.
to lay down. It's similar to that, but like you do like a straight or whatever in the same suit, or you do the same cards too, the same numbers or whatever, and you lay them down and you get points for them at the end. And then if you have any cards in your hand, by the time somebody goes out and loses all the cards in their hand, then the ones in your hand will be counted against your points that you have laid down throughout the
Yeah.
game. So that's what Rummy is. So I don't know if it's going to be similar to that, but that's a nice like low key. I can get competitive with it, but it's also like not a big deal because it's slow. All you're doing is drawing and laying
Yeah.
down, trying to find the cards that you need to win. But but yeah, I'd say that's probably the most memorable one growing up. Another one with my mom, but yeah, I like that one a lot. It's really up
Yeah.
there.
That's awesome. Well, that does sound very, very similar. So my top game is called Roma. People say different ways, so I'm going to say it my way. It's Roma Cub. People say Roma
Okay.
Cube. I don't know which the right way is. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Utah girl, so I don't know if that makes a difference. But
Mm-hmm.
um, so it is very similar to Rummy.
Okay.
Some people call it, I think, Rummy Tile too. But
Okay.
it's tiles that you have. And
Okay.
again, you have to get like an amount of, you have to lay down, you have to get rid of your tiles before anybody else does.
Okay.
We're not big scorekeepers when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to this game. We just play to play. Um,
That's cool.
but I tell you, for some reason, that's my jam. It is my
Mm-hmm.
game. So another game we should
Mm-hmm.
play is Rummy or Rummy Cub. If we ever
Yeah,
meet in person, we just need to have like a club game night or something.
that, that
Because
sounds
I'm
awesome.
curious to see how it is.
The similarities, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
No, I agree.
yes, yeah. So it's a good time. Yeah. Well, let's talk for a minute about this
Okay.
idea of competition. Um, because that's I think what sparked this topic today. So talk
It
to me
is.
about how you teach your club members healthy
Mm-hmm.
competition. Let's give our club members at home, if they're gonna go find these
Mm-hmm.
games and play these games, let's talk to them about how to be a healthy competitor, so that they
Yeah.
can bring these games to their family and have a good time. What
Mm-hmm.
tips or pointers do you have for them?
100%. So I think the biggest tip that I would give anybody to keep them from, flipping their lid is just understanding that it is supposed to be for fun, and that nothing, no loss or anybody's life really, especially when it comes to a game, either worse or better, because it's just all for fun. And the whole point of it is is to enjoy your experience with the family, with your friends, and helping them understand that there's always going to be another game as well. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I can get really competitive, you know, with like basketball in particular. That was my thing growing up. But I think the thing that kept me from completely losing it or being annoyed with myself or with the game is just simply knowing that, well, let's just play again, you know, like understanding that there's always going to be another game. There's always going to be something else that you can test your skills at. And not only that, like, failing mindset a little bit. This is kind of going off of something that an idol of mine, Kobe Bryant, used to say, is that losing is really exciting because that's where the lessons are. That's where you learn how to become better. And man, like, that really resonated with me because without those, you can't get better if you don't lose. So when it comes to a competition that requires skills, like, you just get those skills tight, because that's what's gonna better you, make you feel better. Because really, progress is happiness, you know.
Yeah,
I think Tony Robbins said that.
Yeah,
you're getting better, so let those go by so that you can grow and become better. And that's kind of the thought process that I have behind good competition, and like bouncing back from anything that might aggravate you in regard to competition. For sure.
Spot on. I agree 100%. So that's great. Well, cool. Well, Trevor, thank you. This was a great time.
Thank you.
It was nice to get to meet you. And to our club members, if you try out any of these games, make sure to comment and let us know. Or if you have any fun games that Trevor or I need to try with our families, absolutely let us know.
Anything for right now would be greatly appreciated.
Okay. All right. Anyway, well, thank you. To our club members, have a fantastic day wherever you
have an
awesome
at. Time.
Stay healthy, stay positive, and go get some healthy competition going.
Yes, it sounds great, guys. Spend time with your family, okay?
Yes.
And thank you, Clarissa.
Thank you, too.
Take care.
Okay, you too.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.